Edwards, where he was acquitted by the Privy Council. But you know why he was acquitted? The Privy Council made resources available for them to do a scientific study which was not available in the court here. And one thing we have to understand, poor people are denied the equality of justice because justice is costly. If Vybz Kartel didn't have the money, his case wouldn't have gone to the Privy Council. But his case should not have gone to the Privy Council if we had in place a system that records judgments of our own Court of Appeal. Because if it had, somebody could have looked on those judgments and found that our Court of Appeal here, Zaka and Rowe, with Rocky White dissenting, had decided that once there is any sign of contamination, you must dismiss the entire jury. I am not oblivious to the fact that right now there's a tide because of the judgment or the way the Adijah Palmer appeal was handled. But please note that the same way the Privy Council streams its hearings live, so does the Caribbean Court of Justice. So, 62 years after our independence, it is more than overdue for Jamaica to depend no longer on an order in council to abolish the monarchy and to vest the judicial arm with the full authority to dispense justice for all as we seek to develop a Caribbean jurisprudence. I repeat, our founding fathers envisaged the establishment of a Caribbean court at the apex. It should remain as a settled national position and not be subverted because of political expediency to be a partisan divide. I move now to the matters pertaining to the reform of other aspects of our Constitution. During the 1978 conversations, the PNP was insistent on an executive president chosen by the electorate. The JLP favored a ceremonial head of state appointed by parliamentary procedures. The Carr Commission, by a majority decision after extensive debate, recommended, and I quote, that the formal head of state should not be an active politician and head of government, end of quote. It proposed that the head of state should be appointed on the nomination of the Prime Minister in consultation with the Leader of the Opposition, subject to confirmation by a 2/3 majority of the members of both Houses of Parliament sitting in joint session. This, it felt, would invest the selection with an aura of democratic approval, and the Republican form would replace the monarchical in a manner indicative of our national identity and consciousness of our self-esteem as a nation. I sought during my tenure to to move forward to completing the structures of our independence. It was my view that the process towards our self-definition as a people had to be accelerated. The institution of our own indigenous president as head of state in the Republic of Jamaica must now be placed on the front burner of the public agenda. In order to obtain a consensus on these new constitutional arrangements, I sought and obtained at our annual party conference in 2001 permission to accept a ceremonial head. And let me say this, our constitutions are based on a figment that political parties do not exist. They do, and they matter. And to operate the constitutions properly, we have to take in account the reality of their existence. We were about to see eye to eye, Mr. Siaga and I then, when my good friend Bruce returned to the fold. And Mr. Siaga said to me at the Vale Royal meeting, Bruce has brought some ideas again about the separation of powers. We have to get some time to sort it out. I did know, Bruce, that already there were some other sleepers in the JLP who were also of that view. The net result of it is that we didn't move forward, and with Mr. Siaga's departure, the only meeting that I had at Vale Royal with the new leader of the opposition, Mr. Bruce Golding, he told me then he had just assumed the leadership. He had set up a committee under Mr. Senator Dwight Nelson, and they needed some time.